Hey book lovers, welcome back to my channel, y'all. It's been a minute, so this feels so weird. But today I'm going to be doing my February wrap up. I'm going to talk about the 7 books I read in the month of February. February was a very slow reading month for me because I was in a slump. Like, I was slumped out. After I finished Onyx Storm, I just really could not get into anything for real. I wasn't really enjoying the books I was reading. Reading felt like I don't want to read, so I was barely reading. I would read like a chapter a day. We're gonna dive into what my reading month was looking like in February. So the first book I read in the month of February was Meadow Slinger by Rachel Schneider, I believe. And Meadow Slinger was so hyped up right now on TikTok. It was all over. They were like, oh my gosh, this book is so good. It's crazy. You have to read it. You have to read it. So you get 5 stars, amazing across the board, obsessed, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, like I'm here for it. Another fantasy book. It's a romantasy. I honestly feel like it's a book you need to go into blind. So I'm not going to really talk too much about the plot. I will say it's basically like this world, and these people got banished from the island, and so they've been living on their own. Not just like 5 people, it's like a whole community of people that have been living on their own separately. And once a year they're able to go to this market that is on the island and interact with the people and, you know, buy whatever they want, blah blah blah, for a day, and then they have to leave. And yeah, that's what the story starts off being about or whatever. And I just found it to be quite boring. Like, I was not impressed by this book in the slightest. I was bored for a lot of time while I was reading it. There were moments where I was like, okay, this is kind of getting good, but then it would just kind of fall off again. Now, the ending, though, the ending was definitely crazy. I could see myself potentially reading the next book in the series, but I could also see myself not reading it. So we'll see what happens. But I ended up giving Meadow Slinger 3.5 out of 5 stars. So obviously it's not horrible. It's not the worst book in the world. But I wasn't obsessed with it like I thought I would be, and how everybody hyped it up to be. It definitely was overhyped to me. But I would still say to read it and get your own opinion on it so you could see if you like it. Because a lot of people, like I said, loved it. So you might be one of those people. After I finished Meadow Slinger, I went right into Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. This was her newest release. I was so excited to get this book because, for one, I read 2 of her other books and I love them. So I was like, ooh, I'm gonna eat this up. And then also, a lot of people were saying that they love this book. Like, this was their favorite book by her. They gave it 5 stars. They were obsessed. Couldn't put it down. Amazing. I was like, okay, I might enjoy this book. I might eat it up. And again, I was just disappointed. I don't know if it was because I was in my little slump and I was still kind of getting out of this slump. But I didn't eat it up. It started off so good, though. I will say in the beginning, I wasn't eating it up. Like, the first 150 pages maybe, I was like, oh, this is good, this is good. And I think halfway through I just got bored. Like, I was like, okay, this is dragging. We're talking about stuff that, like, let's just not talk about this. The whole setup of the relationship in this book was just weird. So yeah, basically the book is about 2 college swimmers. The girl is on the diving team and the guy is on like the swim team, and they both share similar sexual interests, and so they decide to like get together, and they're basically hooking up and, you know, exploring their interests together. But the way they get together is weird. The guy would say some like cute stuff in this book and I'd be like, this sounds cute, but I'm cringing right now. Like, I don't know. I just couldn't really get into it for real. But I still gave it 3 out of 5 stars because I still enjoyed some aspects of the book. And like I said in the beginning, I really was enjoying the book. I was like, oh, this is good. But it fell off for me towards the end. So 3 out of 5 stars. Not too bad. Not too great. Just good. It was there. And after that, I picked up Real by Kennedy Ryan. I've read so many books by Kennedy Ryan, and every book I've read by her I've loved. So I knew I was gonna love Real. It wasn't a question of like, ooh, am I gonna like this book? No, like, I knew I was gonna like it. And I started the book and I was like, oh, this is good. But I was still in that slump. After reading Meadow Slinger and Deep End and being disappointed by both of those books, I was like over it. And so Real, it was like, if I don't want to read this book, I'm not gonna pick it up. I'm thinking like, okay, what can I read to get myself out this slump into just a book that I can read for me that I want to read right now? Like, what do you want to read right now, Diamond? And I'm thinking about it and I'm like, I guess I could read Demon's Dream by L. Kaysen. And yeah, smoke. I love that man. I love that man. He's not even the male main character in the book, but I just love him. But Demon's Dream is so good. It's an urban romance, and I ate it up, devoured it. I think I read it in like a day or two. Like, it was, and it's 700 pages. Like, I was just hooked. I could not stop reading it. I was talking about it at work. Like, basically, I guess a little mini summary is like, the girl, her brother basically gets into some mess and owes a debt, and she pays it for him. Not literally pays it, like she don't pay it with money, but she pays it for him. And that's kind of where the book starts off at. And yeah, it was good. It was great. 5 out of 5 stars. Obsessed with it. I think about it all the time. Like, I love it. It was great. I have nothing bad to say about it. The epilogue is the only part that gave me like the ick a little bit. But after the epilogue, I was like, okay, like, okay, it's fine. Like, I still love the book. If she wanted to do a book about smoke, I would read it. So just putting it out there in case she's listening. Kaysen, if you want to do a book about smoke, I would be the first reader. If you want to send me that arc, if you do that, let me know. So then after Demon's Dream, I kind of took a break, a little mini break from reading. Like, I was just not into it. I was like watching TV and stuff, doing all that. Then I went and picked up Capone, which is the part 1 of the Delgado series. This is by Jaquel J, and basically it's like, the first part of the series is Capone's story, so you get 3 books in his story. Then part 2 is Capadonna, which is his brother, and then part 3 is Capri, which is his sister, and they each get like their own books. So I started Capone's books, and I read all 3 of those back to back to back. And basically, it's an urban romance again. He sees this girl and he's like, oh, she's fine. Like, I want her. And when he wants something, he gets it. Like, he never has wanted something and not gotten it. And not in like a spoiled brat way, but just in like, he's gonna get it. He's gonna find a way to get it. And so he saw her, he wanted her, and he was like, I'm gonna get her. But he finds out that it's his brother-in-law's first love. So then he's like, oh. So yeah. That's what that book is about. That's what it starts out being about. But this, like, the first book is like the foundation for the whole series. It's a lot of foundation being built in that first book. So the first book was really enjoyable. I really liked it. I was like, oh, this is great. Like, I love this. Gave it 4 stars and ate it up. Immediately went to the next book. Gave that 4.5 stars. Gave the third book 4.5 stars. And then the last book I read in February that I started and finished in February was Capadonna. That's the first book in his part 2, like, of the Delgado family series. So his first book. Capadonna is Capone's twin brother, and so we get his, you know, that's his book or whatever. And he was just so cocky in the first book. Like, I could not get with it. Like, it was still funny. Like, the man is insane. He's literally crazy. And they say it in the book, like, he's insane. But it was just so funny. Like, his books are hilarious. I won't talk too much about the other ones because I read those in March. But the first book, I couldn't really get with him. I was still like, okay, I'm on Capone. Like, if I had to choose between Capone or Capadonna, I'm definitely picking Capone. Like, but because his first book, he was just so cocky. And I don't like cocky men. Like, I was just like, get away. Like, ew. It was just giving me the ick. Every time he would do it, I would literally have to pause and be like, because ew. But he's just crazy. And that kind of made up for the cockiness. Because, like, this man is insane. He got screws loose. He got multiple screws loose. They all have multiple screws loose, but he is the craziest. He's just crazy. And I gave his book 4 stars. I won't tell you what his book is about because, like, you have to read they're all pretty much basically in the same series, but you can't read Capadonna's books without reading Capone's books. Like, you can't read Capri's books before you read Capadonna and Capone's books. Like, they are all together. So I can't tell you what Capadonna's books are about because you have to read Capone's books. That's the tea on that, but that's what I'm currently reading. That's like the world I'm currently in right now. And then after that, who knows, I might pick Real back up because I want to finish it. I know I'm gonna like it. I just need to pick it back up and finish it. But for right now, I'm reading these books and I'm loving them. They're good. And I'm finally out of my reading slump, which feels so good because if you know, you know, being in a reading slump is not fun. It's not for the weak. It's freaking annoying, especially when you love to read and you feel like you don't want reading to feel like a burden because it's always supposed to be something that's fun and it's like relaxing. Well, to an extent, because then you'd be screaming at the books and stuff, but that's like the fun part in it. So yeah, when you're in a slump, it's not a good time. But I'm finally out of my slump, so all is well in the world. All is well in the world, y'all. I'm out of my slump. I'm back reading consistently and I'm having a ball. I'm having a good time. Yeah. Overall, I really feel like I had a really good reading month in February. Like, I started off in the worst way, like in a slump and just not enjoying the books I was reading and just not finding those fulfilling books. And then I ended the month finding books that I just absolutely adore and love, and a new 5-star read, and just eating up series back to back. I'm excited about it. I love this for me, and I'm excited to see what March brings and how many books I end up reading in March and what I end up reading in March, because I have no idea. So that's gonna be it for this video. Those are all the books I read in February. Comment down below and let me know if you've read any of these books so we can talk about it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.